This video is brought to you by Squarespace, an incredible platform for creating stunning web presence for your business. But more on that later. This is the time you've all been waiting for. For the past couple months, I switched between three iPhones. The iPhone 14, 14 Pro, and 14 Pro Max. I've had my fun and finally can make a definitive review of all three, based on my experience. And that's what this video is about. The most obvious difference you see is the difference in materials and size. It's surely not a deal breaker to anyone, but still an important thing to consider. The body of the iPhone 14 is made out of aluminum, while the Pro models use stainless steel. Personally, I like both approaches. The aluminum is lighter and looks more utilitarian, and the steel looks very jewel-like despite being pretty heavy. All three phones use glass front and back, but the back glass is different. It's frosted on Pro iPhones and glossy on regular one. Here, I can confidently say that the frosted look is better. It's much more subtle and less toy-like. The iPhone 14's gloss back makes it less serious and more childish. I wish Apple offered Pro models in fully matte finish. If we talk ergonomics, well, the regular iPhone 14 is clearly the winner here. Despite being the same size as the iPhone 14 Pro, the regular one is lighter, which makes it far easier to hold. 14 Pro Max, however, is a very big phone. It's simply massive. To me, it is far too big and far too heavy. Its size has advantages, but more on that later. Another thing that is worth mentioning are the cameras. Both Pro models have exactly the same set of cameras this year, so I would just talk about them both as one. Let's take a quick look at the cameras on these new iPhones before we dive into the pics. So, the Pro iPhones have a 48 megapixel main camera with f1.8 aperture, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera with an f2.2 aperture, and a 12 megapixel telephoto camera with an f2.8 aperture. Pretty fancy, right? On the other hand, the regular iPhone 14's main camera is a 12 megapixel sensor with an f1.5 aperture, and there is a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera with an f2.4 aperture. However, unlike the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max, it doesn't have a telephoto camera. Yet all three phones use Apple's fancy new photonic engine for image processing, plus they've got diffusion tech and smart HDR4. But what about real differences? Before we go any further, let me tell you about Squarespace, your one-stop shop for establishing a powerful online presence for your business. With the increasing importance of online visibility, Squarespace offers an intuitive website building platform with features to boost your online presence. Say goodbye to the hassle of coding as Squarespace simplifies the website building process. Just pick a category, choose a template, and customize it to suit your needs. It's that easy. Even if you're not tech savvy, Squarespace is easy to use, and yes, even grandma can build a website with it. If you're looking to set up an online store, Squarespace provides e-commerce options to help you sell your products and services with ease. Not only that, but the platform also offers analytics tools to help you monitor your website's performance, giving you the ability to make data-driven decisions for your content and marketing strategies. So, are you ready to build your dream website? Sign up for a free trial on squarespace.com/AutumnWiner and save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain by using the code AutumnWiner. Don't miss the chance to elevate your online presence and take your business to the next level. And now, let's get back to the video. As already said, the main camera on the 14 Pro has an impressive 48 megapixel sensor, which allows for more light to be captured and results in brighter, more detailed photos, even when the images get squeezed into standard 12 megapixels. Pro iPhones make the photos in auto mode tiny bit more detailed, better colored, and better lit. However, the difference in sensors between Pro and standard iPhones is especially noticeable in low light situations where the 14 Pro's photos tend to be less grainy and have more accurate colors compared to those taken with the iPhone 14. And I'm not even talking about raw photos, which on 14 Pro look amazing and are clearly a noticeable leap in quality and details when compared to a regular 14. The ultra-wide camera is where both contestants are almost neck to neck. The photos on the iPhone 14 are very good in good lighting, with high amount of details, good contrast, and minor noise. The Pro models just take it a little further in every department. More details, more sharpness, better lighting, etc. And in low light, all phones also perform identically, with 14 Pro producing a tiny bit more detailed and crisp photos thanks to a better sensor. I can't say that the ultra-wide camera on these three phones is superb in low light, but it is very good. Perhaps one of the most significant differences between the two phones is the presence of zoom camera on the 14 Pro. This camera allows you to zoom in on your subject without sacrificing quality, which is a huge advantage for portrait photography or capturing faraway details. Plus, the Pro iPhones also have the software 2x zoom, which basically crops in the 48 megapixel image. So in terms of zoom, the Pro iPhones are winning handsomely. The video recording is the area where the difference isn't huge. All three phones shoot very good 4K video in regular mode and cinematic. Plus, they all can do super stabilized videos thanks to action mode. This mode has its pros and cons that are equally present in all phones. It can be very noisy and poorly detailed, but if you shoot in good lighting, this mode will perform almost exactly on all three. There isn't much to say about video, so let's move on. The next big thing for me was the display. The iPhone 14 has a standard 6.1-inch 60Hz OLED panel. It's a fairly good display, but it doesn't stand a chance against the LTPO screen in Pro models. 14 Pro has 6.1-inch screen and 14 Pro Max is equipped with a 6.7-inch panel. The displays on Pro iPhones are vastly superior. They are brighter, up to 2000 nits. They are more fluid thanks to Pro Motion, and they look more modern thanks to the dynamic island. The display is probably the best department for the 14 Pro Max to shine. Its 6.7-inch screen is huge. It's great for watching movies, videos, photos. It's also great for reading if you're into that. However, I can say that binge watching movies on a regular iPhone 14 is uncomfortable. It's very much doable. I would even go to the extent of saying that for some people the iPhone 14 will be a better choice simply because of the notch. The notch doesn't protrude that much, and videos on the iPhone 14 don't have that slightly annoying cutout. The dynamic island is a cool feature, but it sometimes can butcher the viewing experience even on the huge 14 Pro Max. As for the dynamic island itself, I can confidently say that you won't notice the absence of this feature on the regular iPhone 14. This island is a very distinctive thing, but it doesn't change life that much to consider it the main reason to choose Pro models over the standard one. The dynamic island surely brings some new emotions to the table and makes certain actions more organic, but for me it's more of a gimmick. However, the next difference is much more substantial and is definitely something that can make you want the Pro models: the performance. While the 14 has the same chip as the 13 Pro, the 14 Pro and Pro Max come with a brand new A16 chip, which is significantly faster and more efficient. This is especially great news for those who love to use resource-intensive apps and play demanding games on their phones. However, if you're just using your phone for basic tasks like checking emails or browsing the web, the difference in performance might not be all that noticeable. If you're planning to play a lot of mobile games, then you need the 14 Pro Max. Its display definitely makes gaming more comfortable. Another big difference between the iPhone 14, 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max is their battery life. The 14 has a 3279 mAh battery, the 14 Pro has a slightly smaller 3200 mAh battery, and the 14 Pro Max comes with a whopping 4323 mAh battery, which is definitely on the larger side when it comes to iPhone. In my experience, the 14 had the shortest battery life, even with its larger battery and less bright display. This is likely due to the less power-efficient A15 chip that it uses. On the other hand, the 14 Pro lasted longer than the 14, and it's no surprise that the 14 Pro Max had the best battery life out of all three. With such a huge battery, I was able to use it for 2 full days before needing to charge it. It's seriously a never-ending phone. If you plan your usage right, you can charge it only 3 times a week. I would not be surprised to find out that some people charge it twice. I'm sure this monster can go 3 days on one charge if you're doing light stuff on it. In other aspects, these phones are pretty similar. All of them have crash detection and satellite connectivity, but I can't say that for me these features are useful at all. They can prove worthy once in your life, but let's hope that never happens. Oh, I almost forgot about the money. The iPhone 14 will set you back $800, the 14 Pro $1,000, and the 14 Pro Max $1,100. All phones aren't cheap, and you should definitely consider the price difference and the amount of features you really need and will use. So which one should you choose? I personally think that the 14 Pro is the best of three. It has all the best features of all three, it's reasonably heavy, it has the best camera system Apple can offer, and it costs almost as it should. Its performance is rock solid, its battery life is great, and its feature set makes it truly a flagship phone. Basically, it's the best iPhone you could and should buy.